Hello and welcome to Apples and Oranges, the #1 vegetable debate show where we talk about the hottest vegetables and what's up with them and how to figure out which vegetable you need to eat in your life. Today, my guest is Nathan. Nathan,
thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
you've been on this show quite a bit. You're probably the guy that's been on this show one of the most times.
That's true. I'm so grateful to be a frequent guest of yours, and
Frequency is very important to all of us, to me personally. Before we get into our business today, the things that we need to talk about, I'd like to talk about some vegetable news.
Wonderful.
Yes. So, Salmon Rusty. Salmon Rusty served on a bed of arugula and asparagus with lemon cream sauce.
What?
How would you serve Salmon Rusty?
Well, I'm allergic to Salmon Rusty.
My goodness.
I can't eat any freshwater fish.
No, my goodness. But is that it's one
But
time
if
it spawns
there was
upstream?
Right. If there was a toe salmon Rusty, I could eat it. And I would probably serve it with the sauce hollandaise.
Hollandaise.
Yeah.
Tell me how you make that.
Well, hollandaise is a very rich sauce. It is about 4 sticks of butter. It is...
Is it rich enough to marry Padme Lakshmi?
You kill me. You kill me.
Go on.
So you're gonna melt and whip 4 sticks of butter. You'll put a couple egg yolks in there, about 4 egg yolks. Continue the whipping process, and then squeeze a lemon in there. And essentially, it's a very simple sauce to make. But the issue with it is it'll begin to curdle if you don't keep a constant whisking.
Okay. So simplicity is key to avoid curdle.
Certainly.
Perfect. So that's our vegetable news. Thank you.
Thank you.
What we came here to discuss today, since you've been on the show many times. You've been on the show about 8 or 9 times, and if you can't find those on the archive of the show, then you should look a little bit harder because they are there.
Very simple.
It's very wonderful, very easy thing to do. It's just as easy as cooking up a old zucchini on a grill. Super simple. But
Jeff, could I cut you off for 1 second?
absolutely, please do.
Your beard looks fantastic. Where did you get that done?
My goodness, I forgot to talk about this at the top of the show. As always, Ches Dean has spent a lot of time on my hair that grows out of the head of mine.
Of course.
Ches Dean on Fountain Avenue, #1 hairstylist to the stars, to meet, to you.
I love Chaz. I've been there a few times.
Delight. But getting back to the matter at hand, the reason that we've had you on the show is we've discovered that we both have a very significant love of Vons.
That is correct. I am a big Vonsman.
Now, Vons is a grocery store, and for those of you who perhaps are not Hollywood know-abouts, if you're a smart person in the movie industry, you know that Vons is a local grocery store in Los Angeles, right?
Certainly, yeah.
You're a famous man?
A lot of industry people go to Vons, of
yes.
course.
We both we've seen Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy Renner, yeah. Of Civil War, Marvel,
yes.
Civil War.
Where else are you going to buy a pea?
It's absurd to think that you'd go to Albertsons.
No.
Because this is Holly Weird, California.
Oh my goodness.
To think that you would go to Albertsons, I guess maybe a Pavilions, although while I will say I'm a Pavilions guy if Vons is closed, obviously. Well, they're the same corporate structure.
Yes.
But to think you would go there when the world's at your fingertips at a Vons, and the celebrities come out in full force. I saw Jenna Malone last week.
Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, I saw
Late of
Amy
Dawn
Yazbeth.
Yazbeth.
Yeah, Amy Yazbeth. Yeah, it's really incredible.
It's well. So just in case we're being watched internationally, which I'm certain that we are. Vons is it's owned by Safeway now. So if you live in a Connecticut or an Idaho, you've probably been to a Safeway.
It's a very similar store, but the thing about a Safeway, and I would advise you if you live by a Safeway, just go ahead and go. Just support it.
Absolutely.
But where the similarities end is that Vons has that little Hollywood pizzazz.
Yeah.
There's a little something extra there. You like organic? You can get organic at Vons.
They got it.
Cruelty free.
Oh,
you can sometimes get that.
or extra cool sometimes if you want that.
some vegan dishes are there.
Oh, no vegan, please. We're all vegetable show, but no vegans.
Sure.
No vegulons.
Sorry. He would think I would know that.
Yes. Well, let's give a little history of the Vons.
Sure.
So it was started by #1 vegetable man, Hubert von Hagenberg. And he had a humble cart in 1910, and he built it up into the most wonderful grocery store you could imagine.
It's an American dream.
Yes, and in 1984, Safeway, #1 restaurant of safety pins, their safety pin manufacturer, they decided to get in the grocery store game, and they purchased the restaurant, or grocery store, as it perhaps is.
Well, I like to think of Vons as a restaurant and a grocery store.
It's-
Have you ever
they-
gotten a fresh sandwich there?
Fresh sandwich, wonderful. Also,
It's
fried
incredible.
chicken, a chicken
Oh.
fry. Woo, boy, oh boy.
I like them broiled.
Ooh. Broiled. Whoa. So let's talk about. This is a vegetable debate show, after all. So Vons has a wonderful produce selection. They have cukes,
Wonderful.
peppy little peppers,
Love it.
tomatillos,
Yes.
cilantro,
Yes.
shumis,
Ha.
both oyster and button,
Ooh.
a head of lettuce.
Yep.
Which is your fave?
I'm going to go a little off the grid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have Bok Choy there.
Bok Choy? It's
Yes.
a Chinese one, right?
Yeah.
My
Yes.
goodness.
It's fantastic. The crispness of these leaves. It just shoots.
So you're talking about the leaves, and the leaves are wonderful, and they have really
Sure.
nice leaves. What about the stalk?
Oh, you know what? You can make a stew out of that.
A fucking goddamn stew.
I'm not even joking you. Yeah, you make a vegetable base in your crock pot. I usually cook 5 to 6 hours.
A stalk and a crock.
But seriously, you put the stock in the crock. I just got it. You put the stock in the crock, and then you just you boil it. Well, you slow cook it for about 6 to 7 hours, and then after that, you put in your pintos, you put in your kidneys.
Pintos?
Yeah, you put in your garlic wedges, and yeah, that's a great base for a stew.
You're really making me delight a stew. I wanna maybe take all the people watching all over the country, all over the world out for a stew.
That would be-
Your recipe of stew, but I'll try and put the work in.
As long as we get it at Vons. I love that.
Oh my
goddamn
goodness. Well, I have one final question for you, and this is perhaps the most important question. So, tell me what your typical when you go to a Vons,
Sure.
when you're like, I'm feeling a little fresh, I'm gonna have some fun. You
Yeah.
go to a Vons and you want to fill up a cart. What kind of things are gonna be in Nathan's cart?
Well, the first thing is I make sure to fill my cart entirely
100%.
because when you're playing Vons Monopoly, you want to spend. You get a ticket for every $10.
Monopoly's a very important thing right now.
So essentially, you're going to want to spend as much money as you can at Vons to ensure that you get the most tickets, because it's hardest actually to get Oriental Avenue. And so when you're purchasing things, you're going to want to make sure you, like I said, spend the most money.
Okay.
But I'll go through all the aisles. I mean, sometimes if I'm
Is
feeling,
Oriental Avenue an aisle, or do you get that from the
oh
ticket?
no, that's a famous Monopoly station.
Okay, Monopoly.
And they'll put it on the tag still. It's surprising. But I'll start at the produce. I think of my local Vons actually in South Pasadena, and I walk in,
So Pat.
and I've been wearing a Fitbit lately,
Fitbit.
and so it's a really fun gag because I walk in and it makes the alarm go off, and then everybody recognizes me like, oh, Nate's here.
Oh boy,
I recognize that guy. He's not stealing. So I walk in, and I immediately go to my left, and I go to the alcohol aisle, and I'll get a 12 pack.
Jeans,
I'm
vodkas,
more of a Bud Platty right
Bud
now.
Platt.
I'm doing the Bud Platty, but then you cuss back around. You get into your vegetables.
Yes, of course. That's why we're here in the first
I'll get
place.
some broccoli. I'll get the bok choy.
Oh my,
I'll
broccoli.
get some snap peas. I'll get some bean sprouts.
What about a parsnip?
I've never had one.
Why? It's just basically a white carrot, I guess.
Oh, I've had carrots.
it's
So,
it's
all right,
a, it's
so
a
you get
plain Jane carrot.
Sure, you get you get a white carrot, You grab that, then you start to cusp through the aisles, and you go up and down and up and down. And I don't like a lot of processed foods, so I usually skip aisles 2 through 7.
Of course.
But then I'll go to the paper products. I'll stop in at the frozen foods. I'll get a couple White Castles.
Well, what's a life without a White Castle?
Right. Well, you chop up a parsnip, you throw it on top.
What about, did you ever chop up an Amy burrito? One bean from a burrito? Buy one burrito, use the beans for the year, just one at a time.
You know what? As I mentioned before, I'm a slow cooker.
Yeah.
So
that's very
that's
slow.
actually that would shave about 2 to 3 hours of bean cooking.
Perfect, though.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Plus, it's already with cheese.
Yeah. Sensational. Well, I gotta say, this has been a wonderful discussion about
It's
Vons.
been fantastic.
It's
I'm so
always
glad
a
to be
pleasure to
back.
have you on. It's always a delight to talk about Vons. If we can promote the Monopoly game.
You're on the last couple days. And actually, I believe the game actually ended. So what you'll want to do is either turn in your tickets at the moment, or if you know somebody who's been collecting the tickets but they haven't used them yet, you'll want to see if you can grab them, take them in, fill out your board, bring them in.
Yes. Boardwalk is number one, but also Park Place is also pretty good.
Yeah, get yourself a Park Place. I hear you can get a Subaru.
Oh my goodness, that's an Australian car. Well, this has been Apples and Oranges. I'd like to thank my wonderful guest, Nate. Thank you again.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Please be kind to your vegetables. Steam up your broccolis, fry up your Brussels sprouts, and be green.
Be green.
Fabulous! Are those Vons receipts?